Test real quick.
Hello?
Okay, awesome, it's working. Welcome everybody to the OWCraft podcast covering esports culture. This is episode 4, and I'm here today with our special guest, GingerpopOW, the pro support from Arc6. How are you doing, Ginger?
I'm doing okay. I mean, comp today was a mixed emotions going from. I mean, I went 8-8 in total today, so going up and down, and then ending in the same spot's pretty rough. But all in all, I'm good.
The four SR game. It's gonna put you over the competitor.
7.5 hours of playing comp, and I get 4 SR total. Nice.
I like the system. So I guess that can kind of intro us to our first topic. What do you feel about like the current competitive ladder right now and how it is? Do you think it needs like some restructuring? Is the SR gains like appropriate for most heroes, or like some others like broken, or what are your just general thoughts on it?
So I don't think SR gain / loss should be based off of what hero you're playing at all. I don't know why that was ever introduced.
Yeah.
I don't really agree with it. I think if there's something you can like trying to base performance in SR, I think is just something you don't want to mess with. It hasn't worked for 5 seasons. Like at least messing with it hasn't worked for 5. I think you just leave it at like a base up and down, something like that. I don't know. It's hard to say. I'm not the. Yeah. I didn't come up with.
They kind of do that in League, right? It's like less hero performance. I'm not sure how that algorithm is.
Right. I mean, League is better because you can go just based off of stats, right? So it's like 11 kills, 2 deaths, 6 assists, or something like. Yeah, you're gonna get more points.
These individual
right,
stats.
Based off. Yeah. So, could it be based off of medals? Sure. Based off of this, that, sure. But I mean, eventually that leaves someone else out. So like say like a diva or something like that. Diva won't get a ton of medals. Yeah. So then diva players are pissed. Like there's always going to be some sort of like negative thing about the system unless they figure just something
a better way to go
that'll hit home with every hero or every role, something like that. How do I think going up and down like works? I don't agree with it either. There's not win bonuses, but there's losses. I don't know how you'd say that, but
yeah,
if you lose
win streaks, and now they don't have they still have the lose streak penalty kind of.
Right. I don't know. Do I agree with it? No. Do I have the answers? No. But I mean, I play this game professionally. I'm not playing it for the comp ladder, so the people it affects most that like of how broken the system isn't me, but I do think there's something wrong with it, and I do think it should change.
Yeah. Do you find it good practice? I guess, like in some extent.
Yes, of course. I mean, it's just like English, just like you said. Even if I'm not learning how to play as a team, I'm not learning this or that. You can always work on mechanics. No matter what's happening, you can play quick play and work on mechanics. It's just like competitive is just a little more competitive environment than quick play. Especially the higher up you get, the more the enemy team will collapse on your mistakes, which helps. I mean, comp can't hurt you; it can only help. Does it give you the best practice? No, but it depends what you want to do. If you just want to climb the ladder, I mean, that's the best practice you can get. If you want to be the best player in the world competitively, you just work on mechanics 101. I mean, it depends what role you are, honestly. But yeah, it gives practice.
So what type of support mechanics, like as a support player, and just like I guess kind of a different... There's a bunch of different heroes, so this is kind of a bad question generally, but what kind of things should you work on as a support, like just in general, to improve your play and your mechanics?
Okay, so to generalize everything, to not a specific hero or anything, it can help you work on your positioning. And that is huge. Positioning / movement in Overwatch is the best way to see how good a player is, because any Joe could have good aim. Any guy could have really good mechanics and usage of their cooldowns, but it's the people that have really good positioning and really good movement that surpass all of them. So if you're working on that, yeah, you can get some of that from comp 100%. Specifically with supports, let's just go through one-on-one. Symmetra, so it's Symmetra and comp, you better work on your positioning or else you're gonna get rolled.
Yeah.
The mechanics, there's not even a huge amount of mechanics with Symmetra. There's good, like, the things you learn about Symmetra are when to use shield versus TP, good spots for that, good spots for turrets, and positioning. Like, you know how to right, anyone knows how to right click, left click, and use their shield. Like, that's not the difficult part of Symmetra.
Right.
We've gone to Mercy. Guess what? It's the same exact thing. It's positioning. So if you see like what to work on, it's basically either taking advantage of them, not taking advantage of your positioning. So like if you know that they're not focusing you, you can just go ham and do like you could full heal your team as Mercy, something like that. Or if you know that they're focusing you, you can play it back and bait them on purpose, stuff like that. I think it's so much more about positioning. But like people like Ana, Zenyatta, Lucio, there's so much more to those three because they have so much more like small mechanics. So like Lucio, like wall bouncing, so where you go faster and faster. Knowing how to use your boops properly. Those are big. And then you gotta have good aim all the time.
Exactly.
Like you can work on so much, but like you don't get the, if you're in a competitive environment compared to like ranked games, you won't understand the amount of pressure you'll get from a competitive team. But like I said earlier, it depends what you want to do. Like for yourself, I'm pretty sure you're just a ranked player, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what you do. You take advantage of positioning. I think that's key in Overwatch that people like look over. It's like I'm really good at using my like abilities. I'm really good at aiming. It's like so much more to that, in my opinion.
Yeah, there's a lot of thought that goes into positioning. I think that's basically just like the one thing, if you were to general, like that's the thing that people should be working on to improve their game. And
yeah, I mean it could be every single hero. So if you go like Monkey, it's like if you're jumping in too early without your diva, if you're not
jump
like,
into 6 players and like get
right, exactly. It's there's so much based off of positioning. I think if you work on that, that is the quickest way to climb the ranks.
So I guess when it comes to practice, how do you see like practicing with your actual competitive team Arc6, and like how does that actually like help you get better as a player? Like does it improve you like loads every time you play? Do you see yourself improving? Because I know like obviously in a team environment they're going to be really like analyzing your every single move you make most of the time, and like
yeah, so it teaches you how to exploit things. For instance, like I said earlier, if you know that they're not focusing you, you have leeway to do whatever you want. You can exploit that and tear them to shreds with either your DPS, your heals, or your like damage mitigation, whatever it is. You can tear them to shreds. You learn in a team environment that if you're mispositioned, if you misuse a cooldown, you and your entire team are dead. So when you go into comp, when people aren't taking advantage of all these little things, it helps you tremendously because you can you take advantage of like little things that no one else, well, there's gonna be pro, like in me and your ranks, there's gonna be other pro players, but like most people won't take advantage of. People are gonna slowly catch on here and there, but no, it helps so much, especially with communication. Like
that's a big thing.
It's huge. And you can't get it by playing comp. You can get some, but knowing how to take advantage.
These guys on a daily basis either. Like
yeah, and there's mutes in comp. There's trolls. There, I mean, whatever you want to like, whatever. There's not 6 people fully focused tryharding on getting better at the game. Never. So, yeah, practicing with a team definitely improves you much faster than comp. I would say 100%.
So with Arc6, how long have you been with those guys? Because I know you they rebranded from Yikes, and I think it was Denial before. And yeah, what's the story behind this new brand, and how are they as a team?
Well, I joined the team in October of last year.
So you've been with them for a while.
I've been with them for a while, and I mean, there's nothing special to the name, like Yikes to Arc6. All it is more professional. That's all it is. We had some people that were looking to invest in us that were like, yeah, your name's not as professional as we'd like. So we are like, yeah, whatever. Let's just change it. I mean, it's not nothing special. But yeah, I've been with these guys for a long time. Me, Pizza, and XQC are the only three that I joined with because we've cut 3 people since I joined. So our roster now is insane. We could easily be the best team in North America. First things first, we got to figure out sponsorship and stuff like that.
Yeah. In an Overwatch League spot, preferably.
Right.
That's a mess.
That's the goal.
Yeah. We'll get into the OWL in a little bit. I just want to ask real quick, like, so you guys have been together for quite some time, for over 6 months. How is that team chemistry, and like how does it make a difference? Do you like, obviously there's an improvement, like that's a no-brainer, but is the chemistry something like you just kind of like, do you have to communicate less with your teammates to know kind of what they're going to do? Is it how does that affect you, like,
yes, definitely, yes. You could get away with saying less with playing with people more often because you know their patterns and what they're going to do.
That's interesting.
It definitely helps staying together longer. You definitely build like some sort of bond in game and stuff. Our 6 are like some of the coolest dudes you'll ever meet in Overwatch. We have, like, as much as people like to say XQC is toxic and stuff, when it comes down to team stuff, he's one of the best teammates there is. Just like every other player on my team, we have one of the coolest bunch of dudes there is. So, I mean, our synergy goes outside the game. Like, we play games with each other outside the game too, and
yeah, so you're just friends basically.
Yeah, that's and good. Back when I played flex support for my team, which I mean wasn't too long ago, but when I was playing Mercy, Pizza would never even have to talk to me about what he's doing, and I could balance healing my team versus staying with him and stuff. I just knew where he was going to be constantly, just because we played so long together, and we one-tricked that comp. Like, we played it so much, so like something like that. Our tanks definitely have together, our DPS definitely have together, and our supports. I mean, it's huge. Like, everyone needs to have that sort of synergy, whether it comes with 6 months work of time or like maybe a month work. I mean, who's to say? But we definitely have that, and I mean, yeah. I think it helps us a lot.
Yeah, that's the dream. And maybe you'll be able to overtake other teams too, just because of that synergy building and working out the kinks and comp. So what is your roster for Arc6? If you just wanted to like list like the starting players for that, just so like we have an idea of who's playing. I can probably pull it up somewhere, but I just wanted to go.
Main tank would be XQC. Off tank is Space. Our DPS Flex is Pizza. I mean, honestly, both our DPS flex really like crazy. Both our DPS are Dante and Pizza, or ZZA, as you guys probably know him. And then it's me and Custa support. He's flex support. I'm main support. Basically, he's the Zenyatta. I'm the Lucia.
I've seen Custa in rank. I've seen all those guys in rank. They're really good players. Yeah, that's an actually pretty nice team. I remember seeing Space a lot last season when he was like top 10, and obviously this is like comp ladder, so it's kind of irrelevant to the actual like tourney scene. And you guys recently played in the Beat Invitational, and I didn't get to see much of those games. What do you think of your like performance on those games? Obviously, there's stuff to take from it.
Oh yeah, I mean, dude, we played together for 5 days before the Beat Invitational.
Oh, okay.
As a 6-man team, and we were 1 Koth map from beating Rogue. So, what can I say, man?
Yeah,
we can only improve.
Days. Yeah.
Yeah, we can only get even better and better. So, I think, I mean, our team could easily be the best in North America given time.
So definitely.
And they think that too. Yeah, I mean, we're stacked. Like, us 6, we were in the top 20 for like 2 weeks straight in competitive ladder. Like, all of us, all 6 of us. It was crazy.
Yeah.
So I mean, just based off of that, we're scary enough. But like our team synergy and everything, like we're so good. All we need to do, like we've never played full time. Not as like we've never been in a house. We've never gone boot camping. We've never done anything.
Oh wow! So
And we've
once
only
that starts,
recently, yeah, and we've only recently started doing 6 hours a day. We normally do 2 to 4, and we're competing with Rogue. Like, given resources, we're insane. Like, we'd be so good.
wow, that's yeah, definitely. If you could go toe to toe with one of the top teams like that, and also just get invited to that in the first place, it definitely means you're a team to look out for. And it does seem like you guys are stacked, especially mechanically. And I'm looking forward to like watching you guys in the pro scene in the future. So you guys say like you were all in the top 20 on the ladder. So I just wanted to ask, what tips do you have on climbing the competitive ladder? And I know there's probably like a lot of stuff, but do you have anything that like comes to mind? Obviously, win games and stuff, but is there any like insight on that specifically that you could?
Yeah, I mean, you can just abuse the system. So like, if you 3 stack late at night, you're gonna climb.
I see.
Like whether whether your 3 stack is insane or not, if you 3 stack late at night, you're gonna climb. Also, if you play certain heroes, like I remember I played on my one of my ults, I played a ton of Sombra, and I was just gaining insane amount of SR, something like that. But yeah, I mean, soloing is a scary place. You gain. I mean, okay, soloing basically comes down to your comms. If you can communicate a lot, if you're solo queuing, you give yourself a much better chance. But I would highly advise you to at least do.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I solo queue a ton. I only do a queue when someone like hits me up normally.
Right.
And solo queuing as support is a scary place. But if you just calm, do whatever you need to do, you can climb, man. Like if you fully commit yourself in every game you play, you will climb no matter what. You'll lose some games. Like you'll lose some games where if you're Genji and you kill like 4 people every fight and you're calming everything, you'll still lose games, whether you like it or not. But you're gonna win more than you lose. So I mean that's all you can do. That's everything in your power you can do to climb.
Yeah, I think looking at your own play too to make sure you're not hitting like a wall or anything, and like looking over your play is good too.
Oh, definitely. That's the easiest way to fix your own simple mistake. If you just record, like even like 1 game a day or something, just record it and be like, "Wow."
Do you guys go over VOD reviews with your team or just yourself going over?
Oh, a ton. Yeah, we do a ton.
That's good to know.
Because it's so easy from either a bird's eye or your own your own POV. It's so easy to tell simple mistakes when you look at it that way. And when you look at I promise you, when you look at games like that, like from a third point, like if you're on a team or just your own POV, it'll actually slow down the pace of the game when you're playing. You'll see what's going on better, and you'll have better vision. It's crazy. Like it'll help you so much.
Yeah.
And it's a good way to practice. Like
movement, you can kind of
right.
look over.
Yeah.
So, what kind of competitive background do you have? Like, where did you come before you decided to play Overwatch, and then like after explaining that, how did you get into Overwatch as well? As a 2-part question.
Okay, so when I was in middle school, my brother got a Xbox 360. My older brother got an Xbox 360, and we got Halo 2. We got Halo 2 on it, and I really enjoyed that game. Played it a lot. And then when Halo 3 came around, I played that as competitively as I could. I wasn't very good, but I don't know if you guys know or if you know what Game Battles is. It's basically like competitive for console. I was playing on that. I wasn't very good, but once I played Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, I was semi-pro at that, and I was really, really good, and I was about 11 years old. And I played Call of Duty to like basically Modern Warfare 3 as competitive as I could. I was a good player, but I was too young. Like I was invited to a LAN event, but I was too young to go.
Oh,
so I was good. Yeah, so I did that until I got a PC at like I played on my brother's PC when I was like 15 or something, and I played lots of League of Legends. I played probably 2,000 hours of League of Legends,
Holy
and
crap.
that was like my way to get onto PC. And once I got my own computer and started playing, like I wanted to play more FPS again because I got really burnt out with League of Legends. I played H1Z1, and I was insane at H1Z1. I was one of the best players in the game, and then the game like for like 6 months it was never getting fixed. There's so many bugs. I don't know if you know what H1Z1 is, but it's just like
Yeah, the King of the Hill one and the zombie.
yeah, yeah. They just wouldn't fix a ton of bugs. It was just so frustrating to play. So when Overwatch came out, I played it with my brother, and I loved it. I thought it was so much fun. And when I first played, I was a Widow one trick, obviously, because I came from Call of Duty. Like I just wanted to snipe people. You know what I mean? And so I played some Counter Strike before, blah blah blah, whatever. It was mostly Call of Duty from console to H1Z1 to get my FPS skills up, and then Overwatch. And then the way I got into competitive Overwatch was obviously I was super interested in competitive Overwatch because I played competitive every other game. That's just like who I am. I don't know.
Right, yeah.
I never play single player games. I only play games so I can like shoot at other people, like online. I don't know what it is. I can't. I've never played a single player game.
Is there a thing
So-
where you want to like compete and be the best too, like just that drive?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Outside the game, I played soccer in college, like all the way to college. I was a premier soccer player in like I don't know. I've literally always competed. That's what got me in competing in Overwatch. And so I joined. I looked up on Reddit and like all this stuff, trying to find like a team and stuff. And I found Overwatch Team Up or some like garbage website. It was so shady.
That's
but
that
was
actually but, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, we're partnered with them. But,
yeah. When I got on that website, there was like, you need to be this age, you need to be this. And I was like, okay, well, I don't exactly fit that because I wasn't over 18. Everyone was like, you need to be over 18. And I was like, bro, throw me a bone.
Yeah.
So eventually I was able to find a team. They hit me up and we did okay. I don't know if you know what like AG weeklies are.
Yeah, I played in one actually. Yeah,
yeah. So we played in I mean, it wasn't that. It was the competitive Overwatch weeklies beforehand. I don't know if you know what that is. It's basically the same thing as HG Weekly.
Gotcha.
But we played in those. We played okay. I mean, we weren't insane, but I actually left that team because I didn't think it was going anywhere.
Right.
And I joined what is now Renegades.
Oh, very cool.
Luckily enough, I got a tryout with these guys. They won the Cow Open, right? Like that I played Dignify with, and then left. So like I knew who they were, but they had no idea who I was. But I got a tryout with them somehow. I guess it was probably because of like my SR or something. And they liked me, so they picked me up. And obviously that's how I got big in the scene. It was because that team became Kingdom, which became freaking I don't know. They're Renegades now, so like that was my gateway in really because then I got picked up by when I got cut by them actually. They merged, the two teams merged together, and I got cut.
Right.
And after that, I got picked up by Denial.
Very cool. So it's just kind of getting like into that front door kind of and getting a tryout for a team that might be a good team later on. Trying to find like a competitive. That's interesting insight. So that's really cool. That's how you got into the scene. So how did you switch to being like a support player from the famed Widow one trick? Was it just kind of like that's what you wanted to play for the team, or?
Well, I wasn't actually good at Widow, so I eventually just like swapped and played a ton of Lucio. Like I played probably. Well, I mean, you wouldn't think it's a ton, but I think it's a lot. 70 hours of Lucio quick play. Like I played it so much before comp even came out, and I brought like that knowledge into teams that I had. I don't know. It was really shady because back then no one knew what they were doing. So like me IGLing for teams was pretty cringe now that I think about it. But like that's what I did. I was like an IGL Lucio. But yeah. That like I mean, literally started from Team Builder. Or what's it called? What's it exactly called?
Teamup.com.
Yeah, that's it. I started from that, dude.
Just
And I
finding a
got on a
team up.
team.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's all you have to do is once you find a team, you'll learn so much, so much.
So it's just getting in and then putting the work in. How do you deal with like burnout and stuff? Like, is that a thing for you? Like, obviously, there's some factor in it. Do you find your team has issues with that at times, or is it just like, do you ever get tired of playing the game or tilted from playing? And then like, what do you do in that case? Like, if that's a factor.
The teammates that I've had burnout are no longer my teammates.
Oh, I see. Okay, that's a good
Um,
way to say it, I guess.
they just stop
pretty
playing.
pretty simple or binary, like just.
Yeah, I mean they just ranked isn't fun, so they don't practice. They don't practice, they get bad at the game. That's what it comes down to. How do I not get burnt out? I don't know. I just having an alt account is very stress free. That's definitely something I do. Is play,
Yeah.
and also I stream. I think the biggest way I don't burn out is because I stream. Building my own self brand and like giving like love back to like all my fans and community and everyone that like cheers me on. They want me to stream, and I want to stream for them too. It's a way to give back, and there's nothing better to do than just play comp, show off like your high SR to everyone, that kind of deal.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah, I agree with that actually. As a small streamer myself, it's like you actually get to interact with people, and that's like you're adding a different element to that rather than just playing like grinding and like just it gets
Yeah.
mundane after a while, I assume.
Plus, dude. Plus, you know what I'm saying when I say this. If you're on stream, you tilt so much less. Because
Yeah, you don't
if
want to
you're on
look
stream,
bad.
you're not gonna tilt. Exactly, bro. Exactly.
It's made me less toxic myself too. Like I don't know. When I first started the game, I was pretty toxic at times, but I'm like less tilted now. Like I'm just having a general better time playing the game. So like
Yeah.
that makes you
Plus,
avoid it right now.
plus, your stream normally has your back too, which always feels good.
Yeah. Yeah, it's also good that you can like actually feel like you're improving something, like whether it's like your brand or just kind of you're building up your community. So you have
Oh,
that
for
support
sure.
going into tournaments, and
Yeah.
just having that
Hmm.
backbone of people that like care about you and also like are inspired even by your play. So that's like a really cool thing. Like, and it's
Yeah,
becoming
definitely.
it's becoming more of a thing, like with Overwatch like becoming mainstream esports. And I guess I'll transition into just like the final thing we'll talk about, which is the Overwatch League. So what are your thoughts on this? And I know like just to go backpedal a little bit. So building up this brand of yours is actually going to be really cool because you'll be like regarded as an athlete, and that's kind of like a new concept, but not formally new, but like it's definitely like a good industry to be in right now, I think. So like that's that's really good that you're like starting in on the first wave. But I know I kind of like know what you'll say because we were talking about the league a bit like already, but I feel like Blizzard's doing a shady job but they're doing a good job, but they're also like not providing to the first generation players as much as
Yeah.
they should. And
Yeah. So basically, what they're doing is really smart on their end because they know their goals, they know what they want, and they're executing it really well.
yeah,
Whether that hurts their game or not, they're doing it really well. But how they've gone about announcing and giving information and just like helping their players and their competitive scene has been garbage. I'm gonna be honest, it's been awful. There's been teams dropping left and right. Just look at FNR and GFE. Just look at the freaking name. Like these
yeah,
teams are they're dropping out. Rise, GFE, Fnatic, they're gone, and they have no interest in coming back until something happens. That's not okay. There's some disconnect between the orgs and the Overwatch League, and players. Of course, it comes down to players as well because our job security as an Overwatch player right now is garbage. It's so bad because it's like if say my parents, they're like, "Yo, so how's Overwatch going? Are you guys gonna get us on the league? It's really exciting." It's like, actually, I can't tell you anything because I don't know anything. It sucks,
Yeah.
and the situation that they put themselves in is good. Even League of Legends is like, wow, this Overwatch League thing could be huge. Like they've put themselves in a good spot, but
Yeah, long term.
their ex their priorities are a little wacky from my end because they haven't helped us as players, as teams at all.
I feel like it's almost like at a risk of collapsing. I don't think like that's completely true because they definitely have like the long term funding and structure, but like the initial collapse of just like this talent is really like it's unrewarding almost, and I feel
Yeah.
like going into the future, like people will be like, oh well, you didn't support our scene like back then, so
Yep.
it's
Yes. Look at Silkthread right now. He's the easiest example. He was trialing with CLG. I can tell you for a 100% fact that they wanted him. He's an insane player. He's so good.
yeah.
But he was like, no, I'm not gonna play Overwatch. I'm gonna go study. I'm gonna go to school. Just look at that as an example. He had a ticket into CLG, and CLG is a huge org. They probably could have gotten in the Overwatch League, or they can get in the Overwatch League if they want to or not. And he was like, "Hey man, it's just too unsteady, unsure. It's just I don't know.
Yeah, there's a
School's
lot
more
of gray.
reliable."
There's a lot of gray area right now, so it's not
Yep.
like a viable option even at this point in time. Even though there is like a great promise to it, it's we're left in the dark kind of. I think like that's like the big thing that we're getting at, I guess. And they did recently announce the 7 teams, and I'm sure there's more investors talking about that. So what do you think of the current teams that are in there, such as like Immortals and then I guess Boston, uh, Mortals and Energy
So
are the ones that stand out to me that like are kind of
yeah,
the form teams.
yeah. Immortals is good for them. That
Yeah,
team is their roster's nutty. Their organization's nutty. I mean, they just got everything going for them. Honestly, um, they have a great group of guys. They've got everything set for them. They can only progress honestly from here. They have everything to like improve on. They have all the time, resources. Dude, they've got it going on. NRG, they have the money,
yeah.
and that's it. But that goes a long way, like in esports. I mean, they have an Overwatch League spot. They can get the best 6, not even unsigned, but best 6 people that want in the league that aren't in the league right now in a snap of a finger.
Cough, cough,
Um,
Arc6.
I mean, yeah, we're but I don't know, dude. Do you see where there's some disconnect
Yeah,
where
because I mean, you
just
guys
because you
are.
have money and resources, you're in the Overwatch League, but like we just got ranked 10 globally, and our group of 6 rosters staying together to get into the Overwatch League is maybe a 50-50.
Yeah, that's
We had a team meeting the other day. We don't see ourselves as a 6-man unit. We don't see us getting into the Overwatch League together.
that's concerning almost because you've put a lot of time and investment into becoming good as a team, and then these just random investors, like who knows how they're gonna select the actual teams or players. It's just like, oh well, I'm gonna pick up 1 or 2 of you guys, or like how you pick up a whole
Exactly.
team.
Yeah. And if my boy Pizza or my boy Space, XCC, whatever, if they get an offer to a team that has an Overwatch League spot attached to it, they're gonna take it, and we're not gonna like be mad at them at all.
Yeah.
And there's nothing we can do.
Yeah, there needs to be like a way. I thought like contenders was supposed to be like an entry for teams to be in, and it kind of was, but I feel like there needs to be maybe like a combine type of deal for full team rosters, especially teams like Arc6 that are like actually like a viable choice. And then I don't know, like I think the best route of action would just to have like more information. Um, like that would be at least something like they could start with, and because right now we're just kind of in the dark. And the thing is, like they even did the the combine thing where they invited all the players from the top 500, but that's kind of iffy as well.
Yeah, I think their biggest issue with contenders is putting no money into it. Because they're putting no money into it, there's no way. Like if they put money into contenders, we'd get picked up. Because there's profit available, or there's some sort of return.
Yeah.
If there's no money, there's no point. And if say we get picked, just for example, say we get picked up by Rise since they dropped their roster. Say we got picked up by Rise, and they don't get picked up by a huge investor. They don't have enough money to get into the Overwatch League. They're wasting their money. If they give us a good salary, put us in a house, they're wasting their money because contenders gives almost zero return. Plus, there's no guarantee of how many viewers are even going to watch the Overwatch League, let alone contenders.
Yeah, that's like
there's no return. Yeah.
So basically, they should put more money into the secondary league to make it at least a viable option. Kind of like how they have the Challengers League and then the LCS and League of Legends. And I'm not sure the prize pools or whatever for Challengers, but it's like a secondary league. And you probably know more about this than I do. But it would be cool.
Yeah, so
it would be cool to see them like actually pour money into it. But
right, Challenger scene definitely has money, more than contenders. But let's look at like baseball or something like AA baseball. They get paid very badly, but there's returns for those teams. Like in the end, they're trying to be professional, which would be exactly what everyone's doing in contenders. So they'd be probably okay with getting paid less, but the teams are getting return for their players and their teams. That the organizations are getting return for their teams. So that's the issue with how Overwatch is. They can give salaries to players that aren't as big as Overwatch League, but they don't get that return that like baseball would do or something on those lines at all. And they don't. I don't know what their plan is because they haven't said anything, but how they have it set up now will not work.
I agree. They need to just come out with more info. And I honestly think in like Blizzard's shoes, you could monetize these players and teams and provide support for them, and it's going to benefit them more so in the long term, because if they actually put the support for these pro teams, these organizations, and give them a minor league or anything like that, it's going to benefit them, because then they're going to have more teams together playing and practicing together, which is going to increase the talent pool for one, and it's just going to make a bigger scene overall for the actual Overwatch League and create more of an ecosystem friendly type of thing. And right now it's like the opposite of that. It's just like there's a huge disconnect.
Everyone, yeah.
So with the exception of a few lucky types of people, but I don't know. That's good to see your insights on that, as well as like the criticisms, because it's something that like people just like your everyday Overwatch player may not know like all the things that are wrong with it and all the things that have potential. Because like one thing, like I mean, we've been talking kind of about the criticisms, but I mean, I just want to touch like I really give kudos to Blizzard for being able to like bring this to a localization type of market, because that's going to be big for the scene overall. But they're not doing they're mapping long term. They're just like they need to map short term to get to the long term.
I mean, they're brilliant, dude. How they've created their game is brilliant. How they've mapped, they've given life to every hero is insane. It's like no other game at all. Look at our biggest FPS competitor, like Counter-Strike.
Counter-Strike, yeah.
It's nothing. Characters for stairs. You don't know any of it. Like, there's life and something in each of these heroes. What they've done is crazy at the start of the game, but like you said, what they're doing is not looking for the best competition, they're looking for the most money. And that's all it comes down to, it seems.
Yeah. And I wonder if that's just there's probably a lot of reasons. Maybe they're just like forgetting about it. Like I don't know.
Right.
I think if they
or just don't see it or understand. I mean, connecting esports to sports is hard. Like it is. So like, but following their system is the best way to like to I don't know, just like to make it work. They like sports have been around for so long. Just copying their system and how it works would be like, in my opinion, step one. Using what already works.
Yeah, and trying to clone it a little bit or emulate it. Huh. A lot of work they have to do, but you know, I really think they'll get it right eventually. But there might be some type of backlash, like short term, which could lead to long term and like instability. So that's gonna
Yeah,
be
I
interesting.
mean, yes and no, because if you look at like League of Legends, the start of League of Legends was rough. It was really bad.
Yeah.
So, but League of Legends was like the not the opening to like big esports, but it definitely like held esports' hand and brought it to where it is now. But yeah, the League of Legends was rough. Overwatch, it's rough right now, but look at where League of Legends is now. Look where Overwatch can be. I mean,
Yeah.
the sky's the ceiling. So
That's a huge thing. Like I just imagine one day like these stadiums like filled with people just like the Madison Square Garden with for League of Legends or whatever LCS. It was
right,
like a filled stadium. Like just those types of things like on weekly occasions where like people come out to watch Overwatch, and then the fan bases and brands built around it. So it's definitely exciting. I guess I just want to ask like a just if you have any outside hobbies like hobbies outside of Overwatch that you do, and then we'll close out the show here.
oh, so like I said, I played soccer all my life. So uh, I went to college playing soccer, but it wasn't for me, and I came home. So like most of my friends are still around here, so I could just go hang out with them, play some soccer. But what I do mostly is hang out with my girlfriend, and I'm in school. So
You do
my
school on
hobbies
top of
would be
Overwatch?
yeah,
Ooh, that's a lot of work.
yeah. I mean it's summer right now, so I've been chilling, but
Oh, nice.
yeah, I mean just hang out with friends, my girlfriend. I play in a soccer league that's a local soccer league sometimes and streaming. But yeah, that's about it.
Does Arc6 ever play soccer together?
I mean, we've never been together. Like I said, we've
Oh,
never been
okay. Yeah,
full time.
you guys aren't like together yet. Yeah, just in the separate houses. For the future though, definitely gonna play some soccer together.
Oh, I mean, for sure, dude. Like I said earlier, we have the coolest group of guys, dude. We could do whatever we want. It'd be so much fun. But yeah, I mean, school, Overwatch, it's hard to balance, man. Especially because of how like the timing, right? The where I am in school is close to getting a degree, and
Oh
the
boy.
Overwatch League is close to opening up. So it's like, what do I do?
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't do too much outside of games, man. I hang out with friends sometimes, hang out with my girlfriend like all the time. I go to school.
So where can our viewers find you on social media or just like your Twitch link and stuff like that? Where would people be able to watch your support gameplay and also just see what you're up to from day to day?
So my Twitter is at GingerpopOW, and basically the same thing for my Twitch, GingerpopOW. And I don't really do any YouTube or stuff like that. I normally just stream. I've been streaming for about a month straight, and I don't really tweet any. Like I tweet sometimes, but yeah, GingerpopOW on both Twitter and Twitch. That's basically what I use the most.
Very cool, man. And I just want to thank you so much for taking the time for this interview. I know it's like kind of late right now, but it's it's been a pleasure being able to talk to you about everything, such as your team and like competitive ladder, as well as the league and your thoughts on it. And
Yeah, I mean it's my pleasure, dude. I love like I work with Wawa's Bootcamp. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but
yeah, I'm a
I
Chris
love
fan.
get yeah,
Yeah,
I love giving back to the community.
they're a
So
great
like
community.
just doing stuff like this is Like I'll give my time 100% for it all the time. I love giving it back, and like just doing a quick interview, like an hour interview, it's so easy. Like it's the least I could do.
Sweet. Are there any like extra like anything else you would like to mention, or any shout outs or sponsors or anything like that that you want to state before we close the show off?
I'm not sponsored. Feels bad, man.
It's just gotta.
The only thing I could shout out is my teammates. I love all 5 of my teammates to death. I mean, Space is the funniest dude I've ever met. Dante is so chill and fun to hang out with. XQC, I mean, dude, just everyone that knows XQC, imagine hanging out with XQC in public. That's how I see XQC. He's just a flying guy all the time. His comms are, I mean, the dude's just like a straight cool guy. Pizza's the chill guy in the corner, and he's just like always cool, calm, relaxed. He's my boy. And then Custo's the new fit. I actually looked up the Custo when I started playing this game, and he's on my team. It's unreal. Custo, I mean, he's so much fun. He's chill. He's a drunk Aussie. What do you want me to say? But dude,
Awesome.
those are the only people I could shout. Oh, and my coach, Jerky. He's been with me since one of the bad teams I like. Not bad, but like tier 3, 4 teams I played on. He's been with me ever since. I appreciate everything he's done for me, but he's helped me grow as like a player and outside the game. He's been an insane life coach. He helped me with so much stuff. But that's everyone I could shout out, dude.
Very cool. I guess this is kind of after we already close this out, but how important do you think just having a coach is, like for Overwatch specifically, and maybe any other type of coach too? I'm guessing that's like a life coach outside of the game, but
Yeah, so I think it's really important. First off, I think you need a manager. We played when I joined Dana. We didn't have a manager, and it was Dahan. He was doing all of it for us, and it was just like too much on him. Like it's just you need a manager, and you need a coach. Those are the two you need. Coaches keep you disciplined. It's so easy to be like, if the other team doesn't show up like in the first 10, 15 minutes of like scrims, like say one guy is a bit late, it's
yeah,
easy to be like cancel and just not do anything, or it's easy to not do VOD review, or it's easy to, coaches keep you very disciplined. I think it's very like it's a necessity. Maybe not even a coach, but like just someone to keep, like even the manager could do it. Just someone to keep you all disciplined. I think
yeah,
it's important.
yeah. Because without it, it's like there's almost a lack of unity. That's good insight. Um, I just brought that up because like I feel like coaches in the Overwatch scene and just like managers are just like a new rising type of thing that people are starting to have the need for more, and that's like the step above to get your team in motion. So,
Yeah, and like coming from sports, it's kind of like cringy how staff is looked in esports because it's like a necessity. Like you need staff, and it's when I first started playing Overwatch until like pretty recently, where it wasn't staff around. It was just like people doing whatever they wanted. It's like, yeah, this is cringy, man. Like you, there's a
yeah,
reason, man. There's a reason sports have these things.
it's a bunch of like teenagers or just essentially like
Yeah,
just chilling around. So you need some type of, and obviously in the esports scene they're not just teenagers but um, actual players. So having the management is vital to the success of the team. I would say.
yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks for coming on to the OWCraft podcast, and just it's amazing to be able to interview you, man. Again, I appreciate you taking the time for this, and just thanks. So, our viewers, you guys can find our podcast at we do it on Tuesday as well as Friday. So the Tuesday is kind of a new thing, but Friday we have it on at 9 p.m. Eastern, and this is like a bi-weekly thing going into the esports culture with bi-weekly interviews just on just different people within the industry to try to create conversation and cover what's going on in the scene. So you can find our podcast on our Twitter, OWCraftGG, and as well as on iTunes as well if you type in OWCraft. So thank you guys for watching, and take it easy.